You're listening to Tara Lynn's A Geek Saga podcast. This episode features audio from a discussion panel that was recorded at DragonCon 2018.
Hey, welcome to the Loony Series Game of Thrones edition. Okay, so I'm going to be the host for the evening. I am Jennifer Leang. I am the track director for the High Dance track group. You guys are adorable. Thank you.
Yay! We're adorable.
All right, so let me introduce my lovely panelists for this evening. I'm going to start at the very end of the row because he said he wanted to be first on everything. So.
He would. Hello, my name is Brian. I was told this was going to be a Hobbit movie trilogy panel. I feel out of sorts. I am the writer of a Hamilton Game of Thrones mashup on YouTube called Westeros, an American Musical, and beyond that, I'm a volunteer at Ice and Fire Con, which is the first World of Ice and Fire convention, Game of Thrones convention in North America. Woo! It's in Ohio every April. It's amazing. Of course, Fire and Blood, yeah.
Hey guys, I'm Tara. I am an author, and I founded and organized Ice and Fire Con, and I can be found across the web at A Geek Saga.
Hey, I'm Andrew. I'm co-host of the Stats Check podcast and a volunteer at Ice and Fire Con. And long-time Dragon Con attendee.
And Peter Baelish cosplayer. Boo!
Get a job! Stay away from
Get a job, stay away from her.
I'm not even wearing the cosplay right now, Chloe.
Get a job! Stay away from her!
We call him biggest.
That was good for me. Thanks, guys. Hi, guys. I'm Chloe. I am a co-host of Girls Gone Canon, a literary analysis podcast. Yeah, we're going through a Song of Ice and Fire point of view by point of view. We just started Ariane Martell this week. You can find me on the internet writing about AceCloth at livesandarbor.tumblr.com. All right, so let me explain how.
Can you guys not be right on the mic because we are being deafened?
Oh, they're working now?
Oh, yeah.
They haven't been working all weekend, but now all of a sudden they're
Try
loud.
no promises.
Thank you for letting us know. Is this good? Can you hear pretty well?
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Just if you're right on the mic, we are deafened.
Gotcha.
Okay.
All right.
Later. Alright, so in case you haven't noticed, this is going to be kind of like a wild panel. Like, we're not going to be too crazy because we're still DragonCon, we're still professionals, we're running a panel, right? But it is DragonCon at 10 o'clock at night, right? So, if you had a couple of drinks, you're making a deliberate choice about your life, right? All right, let me explain the ground rules for this. We are going to be talking about Loony theories. These are theories that are really wild and crazy, but also like they have to have some kind of grounding in reality. Like you can't just make up crap. You have to have a reason why you believe this. Okay, so you can't just say like I think that the dragons are going to turn into butterflies and they're going to fly in on that. Like no, because you don't have anything to support that. Now, if you can come up with something that supports dragons turning into butterflies, have at it. Okay, we're gonna ask the panelists to weigh in on their opinions, and then we'll pull theories from the audience, and then we'll just kind of go back and forth. I usually try to have us vote on what the looniest theory is, but again, I forgot to get chart paper, so I don't have anything to write your stuff on. I'm super good at my job sometimes. You're doing great. So, all right, let's go ahead and kick this off. Lovely panelists, do you guys have any loony theories that you cooked up since the last time I saw you?
Oh.
Yeah. All right.
Of course, Brian starts it off.
So, Ned's cover story for John, depending on at what time he's giving it, is Willa the Milkmaid, or according to some people's rumors, it's Ashara Dane down in Dorne. And Ashara Dane supposedly killed herself, threw herself outside a tower in Dorne. But I think she is in the Reach. I think she has married Howland Reed, and she has knowledge of both John and Lyanna, and therefore she's under the synonym. She's under the nom de plume right now of Gianna Mormont. Oh, sorry, Gianna Reed. Almost landed it. And so I think she's still alive. I actually think the Tower of Joy had a lot less casualties than we think. I think Oswyl Went is Oswyl Kettleblack. If you've read the books, the Oswald Kettleblack has three sons. They're all trained and have become. Two of them have become Kingsguards. Oswald Went was a Kingsguard, I believe. Oh,
You're
sorry.
being cut off.
Oh, I'm being cut off. I'm sorry.
It's too many.
I'll be back. Dilly.
Normally we don't say theory is too Loony, but even if the other panelists are like, come on, dude, stop. Okay,
Sarah.
so what do we think of that? Like, yeah,
I have a question.
Sure.
All right.
I have questions too, but they're not good.
I know. You can smack me for this later, but I know have you seen the show? Yes.
Question I did.
Have you seen the show, Brian?
I have seen the show.
Was anything still framed from the show when Edward's going into where Leanna's having the baby and there's
Yeah, Tower of Joy. Yeah.
Yes, the Tower of Joy. But he puts the sword down, and if you notice, it's like got the Star of Morning on it.
So under a bleeding star.
Yeah,
I got
that's
you.
why
Yeah,
I'm
I like that one.
asking.
I like
Yeah.
that. I think that's like some major symbolic
So
like
that is-
effectiveness.
That was pretty much what I was getting to.
Yeah.
So.
That was good.
I don't know, I just don't think the showrunners were that clever.
Agreed.
They did
And that-
ask Martin about a few
Well-
things and a few, but it's like I don't think that was one of them.
And as far as book symbolism goes, that is Dawn, the Sword of the Morning from House Dane.
Yes.
And it's one of the two swords that was wielded by Arthur Dane, who in the Kingsguard fight in the show took out basically all of the 6 fighters. It was 6 versus 2, of course, not 7 versus 3. Those numbers mean nothing. And as we know, Arthur Dane has House Dane's main trait, which is the ability to dual wield. He inherited it from his father, Beric Dane.
Why are you on the panel?
On this
It
panel.
takes us a while before we get this.
You turn it off. Cut him off now.
I personally believe everything I say.
Who? Arthur Dane?
Finding a seed.
I mean, this is not a Loony theory at all, but like, no. I mean, I don't think that Howland Reed would have stabbed Arthur Dane in the back. I don't think Arthur Dane would have allowed that to happen.
Yeah.
However, what I do think, because I have a theory of my own, is that, and I say it's my own when it's really like everybody's theory, because we all know that Benjen is Dario. He's also Euron.
Yes.
And he's possibly even been like warged, like so somebody made like Blood Raven. I don't know, maybe warging. No, I'm kidding. Really, he's also Cold Hands.
Yes.
Oh, who else is he?
Jamie, do you want your mic?
Rhaegar.
Sirio and Jack.
Oh, Sirio and Jaqen. I'm sorry. So Benjen is actually Sirio, Jaqen, Dario, possibly Mance as well. I've not heard that, but
Mance is Rhaegar.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry.
Right.
so yes, my favorite Game of Thrones theory is all the things that Benjen is.
Is he still dead?
That's like a PowerPoint presentation of everything you can do.
And like with bullet points about why he is each one.
Yeah.
And let's be real, it's going to look more like Charlie from Always Sunny at his conspiracy
Yes.
board.
I mean, we've never seen them all in the same room.
That is a compelling argument. All right, Andrew.
Alright, so Targaryens are known to be like skin changers and stuff, like Blood Raven, he had like 1,000 eyes in one, you know, so he's able to do that, and like Bran is shown in Varamir Sixskins that you can like warg in a, let's say, Hodor, or let's say an old like wildling woman.
Yep.
So like, you could do that with people. So like, who's a Targaryen? Quentin. Who talks about having dragon blood? Quentin. Who dies? Quentin. Who does he work into? Strong Bell Wasp.
Yep. Yes.
So strong Quentin. Gonna tame that dragon after all.
Hashtag plausible.
I kind of like this one. I don't know why, but I kind of like
A guy with a gut like that, you can't deny that guy.
Yeah.
Liver and onions.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and it gives Quentin like a usefulness
Yeah.
that he lacks before. So.
Ooh,
Oh.
Quentin.
People on this panel. Terry, you're doing great.
Can you turn the speaker down? Because we are,
not,
because
yeah.
when you guys are
We'll
yelling
back
at the
up,
mic,
sorry.
we are, sorry, we're really having a rough time.
I can't believe it works so loud because it was
Yeah,
not before.
we're not used to speakers working.
Yeah, it wasn't like that earlier.
After not out there. Working on it right now.
Is it loud back?
Very loud.
Okay.
Okay, so it's on both sides. Oh wow, we have working
All right.
speakers.
Let's project as much as we can and just put the mics back.
Yeah, we're loud.
I hate to yell, but yeah.
We're loud.
All right. So, you've had a lot to say about everybody else's theories.
Okay, there's actually a different way we could put that everybody else has had my theories already. So thanks, and Brian, that's an old one that was done last year about Howlin' reading the Chardane. So you should probably jot that down.
I've never heard it before. It seems so crackpotty and tinfoil and implausible that how could someone else have come up with it?
I'm gonna go ahead and take Andrews a step further.
Oh yeah. This is a
And,
strong Belwas panel, right?
Yeah, this is a strong Belwas panel now. Strong Belwas is a Zora High, guys. Yeah, it's known.
Just don't talk right into it. You don't have to talk right into it.
Hey,
Back it up.
report for the
Okay.
black.
So where are we at?
Yeah, so just strong Belwas being Zora High and the best. That's about it.
Okay, so Strong Bellas is Azora.
Those cuts on his stomach, he was his own Nisa. I mean, and he survived. He was reborn.
Okay. Right.
It's plausible.
What do you think? Anybody want to debate this one?
It's plausible. Hashtag.
Hashtag plausible.
Plausible.
Okay. All right. Well, this is a not. Okay. All right. This is not. Stop laughing. All right. This is a not very debatey group yet. Okay, so clearly we need to be more antagonistic. Oh, someone here,
no.
Jimmy, give this person a microphone.
Kevin, no.
Oh, this is good.
Kevin, yes. The fine gentleman there in the turquoise, which I never thought I'd say.
For the black.
So I have this wild idea that Jon Snow might actually be Rhaegar and Lyanna's kid.
Crackpot tinfoil.
There's
One-
nothing canon.
one-
Tinfoil.
And just to clarify, for the sake of this panel, we do want to just focus on theories that have some semblance of plausibility. If it's absolute crackpot, we don't want it. I would ask that this gentleman not be given the microphone again.
Please hold up right there.
I mean, he was obviously Ned and Lyanna's kid, so right.
Wow, that was a whole
Right? That was the promise me.
incest and what? Wait, no.
Yeah, they're Targaryens, right?
Hey everyone, good to see you. Where's your mustache from last year?
It was shaved off approximately 90 minutes ago in phases, and the photos are not complimentary.
I think Arya is going to get with her wolf pack and go. Where's she going? She going to run up with him and just not fight with her wolf pack? Because I don't know.
She's like Mowgli,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I'm just asking.
And
I'm on top of that.
I'll throw out there one.
Look at me like I'm crazy. This is a little down.
And I don't think Nymeria's wolf pack is done. I don't think they're going to remain third-party off-page mentions in the remaining books. I think they're going to show up. And I read a theory by, I think it was Brendan Beefish.
Oh, George R. R. Martin.
And
Tweeting that, hold up.
it's a thought that in the forthcoming book, the preview chapter, the prologue chapter, will be from the perspective of Ilan Payne or someone similar running the prisoner train from River Run, and that it's going to be intercepted not just by the Brotherhood Without Banners, but possibly by Nymeria and her wolf pack.
Yeah, that was Adam Feldman.
Adam
that
Feldman,
wrote
I'm
that.
sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's cute you think
And so I
forthcoming book.
yeah. Oh.
That's a Loony theory.
Loony is theory of
On that point, just before we lose it, right before this panel began, an advanced reader copy for Game of Thrones was sold on eBay to benefit someone's medical costs. It was signed by George R. R. Martin and by the comic artist. And the funniest thing about there's 150 advanced reader copies or so of the original book from before Game of Thrones came out. And it says right on there with a big sticker, the exciting first book in the forthcoming trilogy. That's a Loony theory.
Pirates of the Caribbean.
Well, they're from the north, right? And they're wolf people, right?
Yeah.
You know, they
Yeah.
like raven in the eyes and they're animalistic?
It's plausible.
No, I'm just kidding.
All right, Jamie, who's up next?
All right, my theory is Robert the Strong has Robert Baratheon's head. And I think it because he's Robert, and Cersei really seems to like to tell him what to do.
Plausible, I think.
I would say it's plausible, but Cersei likes to tell everyone what to do.
Yeah.
We were actually discussing this right before this panel, and the idea that like, well, yeah, they had to cut off someone's head, and that was a really big skull, so they could have very likely sewn someone else's head on it, and I mean, I guess why not Robert?
Or another Rob, maybe Rob Stark.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's missing a head too. I forgot about that.
Right.
Hashtag plausible.
You guys all read that book, like the Bert and Ernie book, where they put the cowboy hats and fish bowl? Okay, somebody remembers this book. Yeah.
Is that the 80s?
Yes, that was the
It sure was.
Okay, who's up next?
Okay. I disagree with what Kevin says. I think that Jon Snow is actually Robert, like, you know, the king, and the honest kid, because all the bastards with black hair, they're all Robert's bastards. So therefore, Jon Snow is a Baratheon, and him and Lyanna were up to some sketchy stuff. So what if this was all just a big ploy to get the crown, and they were playing Rhaegar the entire time?
Yeah, why not? It's the double cut.
The good old double cut.
All right.
The good old double cut.
Hashtag plausible, by the way.
Hashtag implausible. You can't get pregnant from miles away.
Oh!
Apparently,
6 feet deep isn't a problem.
Get out.
Oh.
Old enough.
All right.
House Plum.
Hi. So I think the Targaryen family caused the Doom of Valyria.
Okay. Yeah.
Self-fulfilling prophecy.
Sounds like something we could put into a prequel and make a bunch of money off of.
Ooh. On HBO.
After Martin's World of Ice and Fire, we know Valyrian politics was. Get on that mic, buddy. We know Valyrian politics were rife with assassinations, intrigue, and whatnot. And the Targaryens, a couple years beforehand, just happened to buy an island as far away as they can. And when the explosion happened, or whatever it was, just happens to leave them the last dragon lords in the world.
Yeah, they just happen to put all these countries in slavery.
Wasn't there like a Targaryen that had prophecy or something like that?
Yes.
So they knew it was going down. Yeah, they knew it was going down, and they
But
got
I mean-
the bunker on Dragonstone.
But I guess
It wasn't.
Targaryens are preppers.
It was not. It wasn't.
They learned how to jar things.
It was not universally believed, though. The Valyria as a whole did not believe it. It was Jorah Targaryen who believed that Valyria was doomed and wanted to get everyone outside to evacuate, and they wouldn't listen to him. He was able to get his son, Kal-El Targaryen, to leave Valyria before the doom hit, and based on that, the Targaryens were able to make it over to Westeros. Hashtag plausible. Next question.
We've only been at this for 20 minutes.
19, not even 20, a full 19 minutes.
Okay. All right, I like this one. I like the Targaryens are preppers theory.
Yeah, well, they got backpacks just waiting.
Yeah.
All right,
Backpacks.
I was going to say strong Valos can't be Azor High.
What?
We all know that Edmure Tully is Azor High.
Oh, now we're
floppy
getting good.
fish, huh?
But why?
Yeah.
But why?
Hey, that's my line.
This is not my theory. It's
Doesn't matter.
theory I found on Reddit. It's my
Even
favorite
better.
thing ever. And it's just basically, you know, there's salt water in River Run, and he was born there. So, Azor High.
So, like,
It's very flimsy. I love it.
Just like
Speaking
some other
of
things.
flimsy, I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure they said Azor Ahai would not have a floppy fish.
Yeah, that's right.
but his floppy fish could be technically Lightbringer, and Rosalind could be his niece Anissa because after she has his kid, it's out of there. You know,
But has
they
she
got
been
River
pierced?
Run, so there you go.
Okay.
Floppy fish is now Lightbringer. That's a good one.
Oh my god.
Temper that sword.
No, it's not heavy bringer, I can tell you that.
Stan? No.
No, that's
I mean,
canon.
Sansan's just canon, so I don't know why we're talking about it.
Really?
Canon.
But there is-
Canon.
Yeah, agreed. But there is that theory that we actually was briefly mentioned in our Stark panel yesterday that Sansa warged into Sandor during the Battle of the Blackwater.
Yeah.
I mean, he's dumb enough.
So we can talk about Sansa in that respect.
Yeah, Sansa Stark's skin changed Sandor Clegane the Blackwater. Changed my mind.
Oh.
It's not that hard, actually. So.
Wait, honey, just give us some alcohol. We'll be better.
That one's not really that plausible. Like I've heard crazier, better theories.
I think that's pretty plausible, honestly. I mean, all the Stark kids are skin changers and wargs, so it's literally confirmed by George. So. Yeah, exactly.
Next microphone.
My theory is that Gendry, as Cersei's hidden son from Robert, is going to end up with Daenerys. And
what?
Double legitimacy to the throne.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Even though Cersei is
Well, that was my right there.
and Jon I think that's how they all the series. And Cersei might not end up killing him because of
I feel like that's like hashtag show plausible because we get that whole thing about how Cersei like supposedly actually had a kid with Robert when in real life we know she didn't.
Yeah.
Because this is real life.
By in real life, we mean in this fictional book series which we read and enjoy.
There was too much description with Cersei in that aspect.
What, the sticky princes? Is that what we're talking
Yeah,
about?
that's what we're talking about. Yeah.
All about them sticky princes, one by one.
I have to weigh in. I have to weigh in as hashtag implausible based on Maggie the Frog's prophecy that Cersei in total has 3 children, gold their heads and gold their crowns.
Yep.
That's true.
Shrouds.
What's that?
What if he's having his hair brown?
That's.
I don't. There's still that's 4.
They don't have peroxide yet in Westeros.
They absolutely have hair dye in Westeros. It is
Not
key to
peroxide.
several characters' survival.
Not peroxide. Lightning is a different scientific
Let's move on to our
process.
next theory.
All right, my theory is a little meta. So my theory is that HBO has been paying Pornhub for the last 3 years to normalize incest porn. So by the time they got to this plot point in Game of Thrones, everyone was just cool with it.
Plausible.
That's a good
That's the panel. That's the panel right there. That's absolutely hashtag plausible because I want everyone in the audience to look in their hearts. At the end of episode 1, you thought Cersei and Jaime were icky. At the end of the last season, you didn't think that. Sorry, yeah, I'm having conflicting requests.
Mixed messages.
Me, stop. You.
I'm sorry. Okay.
Still needs to be farther away.
Gotcha.
Sorry. Farther away. Because if you're talking and he's talking, we can't hear him.
All the way to the wall.
I can hear them fine.
Vanished.
Yeah, it's not as. Just don't yell. It's me, I yell.
I don't want to.
Okay.
So who had the next question? Does somebody
He
have?
goes right there.
Yes.
Yeah, you're good. Okay.
Is it possible that Bran started the war by causing the Mad King to seize, just like he did Hodor?
Absolutely.
I mean,
Yes.
I think the war started because Ares just kept burning people, but go off.
If he did, burn them all as compared to hold the door.
Yeah.
Is it a similar causation?
Absolutely. I mean, Bran has been known to screw with things, even though he's told not to do it by Bloodraven, who's the OG.
Or Catelyn,
So.
who's the other OG.
But why wouldn't it be Bloodraven? Like, why wouldn't it be Bloodraven?
Why you gotta blame Bloodraven? Gotta
Have
was
you met
thirsty for
him?
Cersei.
That's true. Even Bloodraven would blame Bloodraven.
I'll say hashtag plausible. This was mentioned at last year's panel, and I was completely on board with it. If you're Bran and you are learning how to go back in time and affect events in the past by getting into someone's head and influencing them as much as you can.
Oh, this is the Weirwood porn
This
one,
is the
right?
Weirwood.
Yeah.
With Hodor, you're going to have more of an ability to effectively direct someone. With someone like Aerys, you're possibly going to drive someone who otherwise is slightly off, completely insane. You're going to make them go off the deep end, and in their last moments of panic, if you've been warning them this whole time that there are whites coming from beyond the wall, the undead are coming, and the only thing that stops them is fire, your last words are going to be, burn them all, burn them all.
That's good. Or Duskendale.
What's that?
How is Bran able to affect some kind of resolution to the conflict that was caused?
That's an excellent question, and George is going to have to answer that because, like J.K. Rowling, he's forming his own causality loops. We're not going to know what events were affected by the future until we see them affected in the future to the past. It's book 3 of Harry Potter. If what was shown in the show is true for Hodor, and I think it is.
Yeah.
To some degree, the generalities I think are right. Then there is an ability to affect events in the past from the future, and so we're going to have no idea what from the past changed because of Bran until we see Bran do them, and it's going to make puzzle pieces click into place.
I still think it was Bloodraven.
Yeah, it was Bloodraven though. Yeah.
Or Duskendale.
All right, we've got both here with the microphone.
Okay.
Just saying.
Most days thinking that Jon is going to have to kill Dany in order to create Lightbringer by putting his sword through her heart. The only thing that causes me to not feel that 100% is the possibility that Melisandre is Azor Ahai's wife, and that's the only reason why she's really sticking around. And when Azor Ahai put his sword through her heart the first time, she didn't die because she was already a Shadowbringer from Shire, and she had already cast a spell on herself, but now he's going to have to put his sword through her heart again in order for the true Lightbringer to be created, and I think Jon is going to have to do it.
Okay.
Give the whole trilogy.
I like that. I feel like we can make like a whole HBO series. Okay. Channelist.
Yeah.
Chloe likes this one.
I don't know if I love it. I just love the idea that someone's gonna die. So I
like the idea that Jon is gonna die because he's what did you call him? A bowl of porridge.
Yeah. Yesterday. It's
like
just like
lukewarm porridge.
Easy to swallow, but nobody really likes the way it tastes.
I mean, it's not even that. It's just like
that's what she said.
There are just a lot of basic white boys in the book. You can like any of them. Why Jon? You know, it's like reading Harry Potter and having Harry be your favorite character. I don't.
I'm filled.
You said this last night.
There's just other ones. You can like other people.
It's allowed. Anyone else?
That's a tinfoil theory.
Oh, good. Keep it going.
I actually go a different way with the prince that was promised with Azor Ahai and the Nissa Nissa prophecy. I always liked the theory that it's Rhaegar, and that the attempts to create the sword is his offspring. And his previous failed attempts, his 2 failed attempts, are his children that are killed before Jon.
Yep.
And that when they talk about him plunging into Nissa Nissa and pulling out the sword that will light the darkness, that's Jon. He joins the Night's Watch. And I'm sorry, that's so much fun. I understand it's phallic, but that's what it is. They say that that's exactly what they say. They say thrust.
George's into a lot
They say
of
he
things.
thrusts himself into Nissa Nissa, and that she dies, and Lyanna dies in childbirth.
Yeah, and that's
producing Jon, who joins the Night's Watch, which, according to their oath, is the sword in the darkness.
And it helps especially to swallow the bitter, the second Aegon pill. You know, the other Aegon.
There is no second Aegon.
This one actually makes a lot of sense when you look at like George Martin's like love of layering of stories,
His symbolism,
and you know what you're reading is not what you really think you're reading. Anyways, this guy's been waiting a long time.
Well, I have a lot of weird ones, but I think my more fantastical one I have is that Drogo, before he died, bore into one of the dragon eggs, and when it hatched, he is actually in Drogon. And it explains why Drogon is the most protected, it's the biggest, the most fierce.
And all the sexual imagery.
So thirsty. So thirsty.
Dany's all like the black, like smoke to eat, and the claw.
She's into it.
Take me when she's climbing him. So you know.
That's her thing.
So is Dany gonna bang him or what? Is that next?
And then we have a house.
Let's just get into it. I mean.
then are talking about, well, these Essos, the warrior was usually in Westeros. Well, the first men came from Essos, and if there's ever a warrior who had that will to channel himself into live, it would be Drogo. He's like, I'm not going out like this.
Not dying.
Find me an exit, and he found an exit.
An exit?
I love I love your shirt, sir. I would ask that you said you have a bunch of theories that you might want to put forth.
A couple ones.
Just go ahead and give any other one.
Bronn is a bastard Lannister.
Who is?
Bronn is a bastard Lannister.
Possible.
Bronn is a bastard Lannister. Yeah.
They spread that seed.
He is Tywin's bastard brother.
No.
He likes horse.
Or Tywin's. No. Is he too?
Tywin likes horse.
Is he too old? How old is Bronn?
He's like around 2'8" and 299, I think.
Yeah, he could be Tywin's
could be
early ho-lovin'.
Because we know.
What if he's Joanna and Aerys' bastard?
Oh, there you go.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah,
She was dead by then.
Damn it. No, how old is he?
Or Cersei and Jaime, either way,
Tyrion's like,
pick your
it could
poison.
be, but no, it's not. It's not it. That's not a thing.
When you think about it, Cersei's more like Aerys than.
I feel like it's not impossible for Tywin to have bastard children.
Yeah.
Like we
No,
know
not at
that
all.
he absolutely went to the brothels.
Yeah.
So
Varys was very coy about which hand had a tunnel installed so that women could be discreetly moved to the hand's chamber, which Tyrion used later. But it was for Tyrion. Sorry, it was for Tywin.
Tyrion liked it too.
Tywin got a prophecy
Tyrion was Tywin's son in that regard. Tywin, they showed it with Shay. It was absolutely prone to the same vices as Tyrion.
Yeah.
It's a Lannister thing.
So hashtag plausible.
Hashtag plausible.
Next.
All right. Okay. So
You guys are having way too much fun over there. You guys share with the class.
So I don't think I can top a lot of the ones that have already come, but this isn't so much of a theory, but more of an observation that I think we should all make of what we will. So in one of the very first chapters in the first book, they describe all the physical descriptions of the Stark children. And Rickon, Bran, Robb, and Sansa all have red hair. Arya has brown hair. And all of us know from biology classes that red hair is a very, very recessive trait. And we don't really see it in the Stark family. So out of 5 children, 4 have red hair. Which seems to be a bit of a genetic implausibility.
So what are you?
What are you trying to say?
Who are you supplying?
Yeah, I mean, you gotta supply us with a dad.
You gotta go there.
Was it Mr. Lewin?
Was it
He's like, hey, I got my chain and magic.
It was Mance Raider. It was Mance Raider. Arya's dad was Mance Raider.
I'm just saying, who is also
Girl, you just lit it up in here.
All right,
Hashtag
the room is on fire. Who are you suggesting is the father?
What are you?
The baby daddy.
I don't know. Who's the dad?
Mance Raider.
Who that baby daddy?
Tormund.
Who's the dad?
He has red hair.
Tormund.
No, you're right. He doesn't. He's like bald in the book.
Yeah, he's like.
Oh my God, the show has ruined me.
Because they're floppy. You know, Michael, they're floppy.
Like she knows about that floppy fish.
But like.
I would say the strongest evidence against that, out of all of the Stark children, they're all wargs. They're all skin changers, and that suggests that there is a common lineage there.
Where'd the hair come from?
The hair? It's against the odds, but you can, especially if somehow I'd have to look back at Ned's lineage. But yeah, if he has red hair in there somewhere, the recessive gene can be passed down.
No Stark has
We should have all attended the genetics of the Game of Thrones channel earlier today.
The recessive trait can happen 25% of the time, every time you have an offspring.
Yeah, that exact thing, yes.
It's like sex pack. It's 50% probability.
To be fair, you have had more than 3 minutes explaining.
But while we're on the subject of Loony theories and Starks and hair color,
I love him.
I think part of the reason... Okay, going back to the very first scene of the show, Waymar Royce, the son of Bronze John Royce, who we've seen years later, he's the third-born son. He joins the Night's Watch. He leads two members of the Night's Watch, and they are summarily butchered by the others. That's the first scene we have in the show.
Yeah. Yep.
And in the book, it's written very specifically as to how the others get Waymar. They kill a group of 8 wildlings and leave them in place so that the Night's Watch find them. It's a trap. It's a mouse trap for the Night's Watch, and they get this guy there specifically. And oh gosh.
Where are you heading with this?
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah. No, I do. I'm sorry.
Make your point.
Who? I'm blanking on the
It
name.
doesn't matter. Will.
No. Who is the guy? Who is?
It doesn't matter.
Who's the wildling who has the camp and he gives his sons to the others?
Craster.
Craster. I'm sorry.
Who are
Craster. I'm sorry. I blanked on the name.
panel?
Craster specifically knows what Waymar Royce looks like and knew that Waymar Royce went north. That means we know that those 3 stopped at Craster's keep on their way north to find these wildlings. We know that Craster works to some degree with the White Walkers. When the White Walkers set this trap, there are 6 of them. They've never paid that much respect to any other warrior of Westeros. When they go after Jon Snow, they go after him with 1. They go after him with 2. For Waymar Royce, they go after him with 6. And the first time they clash swords with him and his sword breaks, the other is described as laughing, as essentially saying something derogatory. The rest of them laugh, and then they all move in and just kill him. They thought he was going to be much more of a threat than he was. He's described in the books as having black hair and gray eyes, which, from everyone else described in the books, that's only Starks. I don't think Waymar Royce is a Stark. I think he had those traits, and he was described as that to the others. And I don't know how that would tie in with there must always be a Stark in Winterfell. But the others, for whatever reason, thought Waymar Royce was someone worthy of respect, possibly a Stark, and someone who they needed to set a trap and specifically kill before they moved their campaign south.
Also kind of hot.
And that's like too plausible for this panel, though.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Also, there was a spaceship.
Here's a good one before we take another question. I just got a tweet about a good one. About Jamie being Azor High.
Often George writes a lot of parody between
Rooster Pam. My name is Reborn. The Hot Tub Ram.
Can you? Sorry, honey, you're real quiet.
Yeah, we can't hear you at all. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's only me that does that.
Okay, cool. So we know that George writes a lot of parody between the narratives between the North and the South. There's a lot of parallels. And my theory is that there is a counterpart to Peter Baelish of the North, sowing as much chaos and as much problems as Peter Baelish, and that is Maester Luwin.
I'm leaving.
Yes.
Yes. And my evidence is this. First, we know that Maester Luwin has a Valyrian chain, so he knows about magic.
Word.
We know that Maester Luwin knew that the White Walkers had been reported to the Night's Watch because he reports to Ned, and Ned had executed the deserter.
Word.
We know that Maester Luwin encouraged Ned to go to the south and be the hand. We know that Maester Luwin encouraged Catelyn to go to south and talk to Ned. And finally, upon his death, he decided that, well, I can't sow any more chaos. I must drag myself out to the Heart Tree so that my blood goes back to the Weirwoods so that I can have eternal life.
Yeah.
I'll allow it.
Good job. Gold star.
Mildly plausible, I guess. Whatever.
Yeah, no, hashtag plausible. There's no strong evidence against and plenty for.
I mean, besides like loving the Starks with all of his heart and soul.
So
Yeah, maybe he was just a good guy.
Never stops anybody.
I would just like to throw out there that Littlefinger
I'm
loved
literally
some
only
of the
invited
Starks
to
with all
every
his
year,
heart
so
and
I'm
soul.
Oh, no.
Love.
Only Cat.
And Cat 2.0.
No.
Jessica.
I need an adult. Not these ones either. Like none of these ones. Maybe Jennifer, but no one else.
No, I'm no good.
Tara, maybe. I'm not that adult.
All right, who's got the microphone?
there we go.
All right, go for it.
My theory goes to true heir to the throne. My ideal is that Jon and Daenerys die in sort of a Romeo and Juliet. Like
My ideal too. I want them
end
dead.
up with one of Daenerys's quote-unquote children on the Iron Throne. My personal preference is Rhaegal.
Yeah.
We end it with a new age of dragons in Westeros.
Yes, Dragon Age.
I for one, welcome our new dragon overlords.
They just be like, bah, 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 blow fire at everybody.
It's like
Next guy is
come
the guy
again.
right in front of the
Okay. All right. Next guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry. I didn't know what Jimmy was pointing at. He just said flag. I'm like, which one? There's so many.
I'm sorry.
Sorry, can you speak up just a little bit?
My theory is regarding your little brother, because everybody keeps thinking it's going to be Jamie or Tyrion. But I've always thought the fact that since the prophecy is the little brother as opposed to your little brother, it could be anyone's little brother. And so since the mountain guards Cersei, and the Hound is the little brother of the mountain, and he would kill the mountain, you see the mortal wound, and his last strength, he would kill Cersei by putting his hand around her throat and basically snapping it.
Okay.
Clegane Bowl.
For those who couldn't hear, the theory is essentially a reinterpretation of the Valonqar theory of the little brother being Cersei's end, and it not necessarily being Cersei's little brother, but being someone's little brother. And in this case, the Hound. The Hound.
Well, and also let's always remember that Valerian is also. They don't really differentiate between sexes, so like it's just little sibling really, so it could be anybody's little sibling. So like let's be real, I mean Rickon could be the one who kills Cersei.
Let's be more real, Arya.
We finally found a purpose for Rickon.
That is too real. Stop making it so serious.
I'm so sorry.
God, Tara's trying to have fun, Brian. You're just wrecking it.
Now we're having fun. Fun time.
I do like the idea of Sandor being the one to kill her, though, because
Yes.
like that Martin likes to subvert himself, right?
Bad dog.
And so, like, fulfilling a prophecy in a way that you don't expect is the way he would do it.
And in doing that, the rest of the panel will hate me because this is too plausible. But Sandor could be Cersei's end by appearing as the champion of the faith to represent the prosecution in the charges against her, beating the mountain in the Clegane Bowl and causing her death. Did you just say objection?
Yes, I did say objection.
I objected to you earlier.
You just don't want any friends tonight, do you?
No,
I came in with none and I'll leave with less.
Now other Brian, my new best friend.
Jimmy, give the microphone to Ben.
Or no. Now Brian, my new Brian.
There we go.
He's got a butt. He's got a butt.
But, okay.
As he's lying there dying, Arya is standing over him, and he looks up at her and says, now you can cross me off your list, and she can reply, I already have.
Oh.
Stop going like into like my fan fiction, okay?
Out of my favorites, it's okay.
Oh, I've been disassociating about
So mine's a little meta as well.
Make it meta, you cowards.
Wow.
Everyone knows how like E.L. James wrote 50 Shades of Grey. It was Twilight fanfiction.
Oh yeah.
So I think that there somewhere on fanfiction.net there was someone finished the Game of Thrones series because they were very upset that Martin was not getting the books out quick enough. So then the showrunners found this, stole all of it, and issued a DMCA takedown.
They needed Reddit too.
I like this too. It explains so much.
Yeah, it does.
I mean, I'll be honest, like I actually did read one of those fanfics. I think it was called The North Remembers.
Yeah, there was like somebody posted on Reddit. There was one that was pretty much like the plot points for season 5 for like Winterfell were pretty much in this fanfic, and it was posted about pretty rapidly around the time of like they just lifted this whole fanfic. I can't remember the name of it, but I think that was a thing.
What if the showrunners are just writing a bunch of fanfic and putting it up on fanfiction sites and see what gets a good response?
Oh my god!
Just to clarify,
that is a super meta theory. Plausible.
And before we go too much into detail, the show writers are absolutely writing fan fiction.
Did they know how to read?
Yeah, the showrunners that brought you, you want the good pussy, but you need the bad pussy, wasn't that? Yeah, they're writing really great fanfics online.
Oh, and don't forget that the people who created the show also brought you such gems as Troy.
Or wanted to bring you Confederate. So I'm just saying.
But
side.
Yeah, life's not sad, guys.
Next question.
It's your Black Raiders. It's okay.
He didn't really kill the Mad King, and that was just a claim of glory.
Oh.
What do you guys think?
I don't think it would be a claim to glory, but I think that shoot, honestly, that's pretty plausible. Like that he would have taken the fall for someone like, I don't know, Ares' wife who is treated horribly. Jamie is not a like he's a bad guy. Like he does stupid crap, but like. Like he's like a bad guy, but not like a bad guy. Like he does, he's super like Gryffindor, like so Gryffindor. So he pushes kids out of windows without thinking about it.
Or gives people's homelands away to the bad guys.
But
he works for the mafia, right?
yeah, but like no, I mean I actually think that's kind of plausible that he would take the fall for somebody like, I don't know, again, Ares' wife who was treated horribly, who actually killed him. Do I think Jamie killed him? I do. But however, this is Loony Theories, and as Loony Theories goes, that's one of the more plausible ones I've heard.
It's plausible.
Hashtag plausible.
All right, who did Jimmy give the mic? There we go.
Okay, so we've seen people come back to life, and
What?
you can't see I'm using air
Thriller.
quotes. In two main ways. There's the children of the forest, children men, whatever they, coming back as walkers or White Walkers, and then we've also seen the Brotherhood without banners bring people back to life. So. Qyburn was able to bring the mountain back to life. Maybe he wasn't dead, I don't know. But he was able to bring the mountain back to life. So Qyburn was kind of sort of kicked out of the Citadel for being a maester that was doing things that were beyond what he should have been doing.
Necromancy.
So does Qyburn have some sort of connection to the Brotherhood without banners, or maybe knows something deeper about the White Walkers?
Yeah.
Go ahead, Brian.
Yeah, and George has mentioned before, he's distinguished between fire whites and ice whites, with the others bringing back ice whites, and people like Melisandre and the Brotherhood Without Banners, like Thoros of Myr, bringing back fire whites. And I believe there are probably 16 types of whites, ghost types, fairy types, psychic types, etc. And I believe specifically in your example, this would be a water type. The mountain would be brought back as a water type Pokemon. And
I feel like Catelyn should be a water type, let's be honest.
Catelyn was absolutely also a water type. Yes.
She was a ground type.
Gotta catch
Well, they
them
pulled
all.
her out of a river, so.
That's secondary.
Oh, she's rock
That's
type.
secondary.
She's a rock
Oh,
type.
yeah, they all get two types.
Lady Stoneheart is a rock type hybrid
Fair.
water type.
Fair.
That is the takeaway from this panel.
I feel like this is gonna be like the next big app game that we could play. Like,
Oh my god. Gotta catch them all the white types.
Very racist.
you guys specify
Right.
the spelling.
Oh, that was
white supremacy.
Wait, what? That was bad.
Panel's over. Everyone go home.
WIGHT.
Nothing to see here. Hey, look, another theory.
Oh.
I have two quick things to say and then a theory. First off, Jaime Lannister pushed a 7-year-old out a window.
Thank you.
Word.
Oh.
Yeah.
Someone so handsome can't do that.
Look at he cut his hair.
He did it so he could cook his sister.
Okay.
But that was the good
But I would like to point out, as someone here mentioned, he cut his hair afterwards, and now he's a good person.
It's like if you're a girl and like you let your hair out of the ponytail and take off your glasses, you're suddenly hot. With guys, you just cut your hair short and then you're suddenly a good person. Game of Thrones.
My second thing was, I don't think High Valyrian is gender neutral. I think the word for dragon in High Valyrian is gender neutral, and it was a statement specifically about. As I understood it was about the phrase "the prince that was promised."
It was the prince.
Yeah, the word
I thought
prince.
it was just the word dragon that was gender neutral, not necessarily the whole language. But neither of those are my theories. My theory is that going off of Brian's lovely theory about Howland and Shara, that clearly means that Mira is half Dane, and she's in the North right now, and she's clearly gonna get Dark Sister from Blood Raven, but then she gets to be the new Sword of the Morning, right?
Yes. Yes.
Take that sword.
I'll defer to Chloe on this. She is a cadet branch of my theory.
That's 100% plausible. Thank you.
I don't know. They don't sound logical at all.
All right, who is up next?
I will say, like, I want to clarify. Yeah, with the High Valyrian, it was the word prince that they were specifically talking about, though. That is, like, it could be prince, but it could also be princess. They don't really have like a gender specific term, which is honestly kind of great. But so yeah, like it was absolutely that the word prince could actually be princess. It could refer to literally any person,
Human.
any human. Yeah,
Non-dragon.
non-dragon.
Which is rude, personally. But
No. Yes.
All right, next up.
Okay, so first off, just an observation. I noticed that the correct Baratheon flag is not flying on the wall, and I am personally offended.
Whoa,
So yours is the theory?
Stannerman.
No, I'm out. Sorry, gotta go.
That's fine, I'm still here.
Second crazy theory, which was stolen next to me. But she's afraid to speak her own theory because
That means it's really good.
Samuel Tarly is writing the Game of Thrones books, so like it's kind of like a perspective or something, and it's kind of like a theory that's going to bounce around.
He's the Bilbo.
What if it's actually just Bran in everyone's perspective, writing from what he sees from their minds?
That's so metaphor.
bored. Andrew, I think they need to take this
I
one.
mean,
Yeah.
it's much porn you
I
can
mean-
watch. Let's be honest here.
I mean, Bran likes to watch. Like, that's his king.
Wow.
Like, he really
There's
likes to
only
watch.
so much porn
We
you
let
can
him
watch.
talk and he did this.
No, it's okay. I'm okay with it.
Bran likes to watch and Andrew is okay with it. That is the takeaway from this panel. Thank you. You've been a lovely audience.
All right, next up.
Alright, I'm gonna bring it back to how Cersei dies. Now picture this. Arya runs up and slits Cersei's throat. Tyrion's there. And he's trying to stop the bleeding, so he wraps his hands around her throat as the life chokes out of her. And she realizes, and you see it in her eyes, Tyrion was never going to kill her. He was only ever trying to help her. And then she dies.
Oh, that's a bummer.
I like that.
I
I
like
like that. I like
Let's
that.
do it.
I mean, that's too plausible.
That's a little too plausible.
I mean, it's also just like. Yeah, I don't even know. There are things I could say about that, but none of them would sound good right now.
No,
so.
go ahead, Tara. Go ahead. Put it out there. Whip it out,
I
Tara.
mean, like it makes absolute sense, but I just don't like Tyrion, so I don't like
He raped a sex worker. Move on.
Thank you. He also married one.
Yeah. Well,
Same
no.
thing.
All right. Next question. Let's not get into this.
That was pretty
All
much it.
right, who's up next?
That'd be me.
No,
You're all
no.
stuck with me still.
Oh no.
So like my one of my personal crack theories is that if the books go the same way as the show, the Last Hearth is going to turn against the Starks and like go and fight for the Boltons. And I want to see them defeated because they're the giants. Obviously, they're like they're sigils the giants, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I want to have Tormund like take over so that now it's Giant's Bane.
Oh,
yeah.
I really like
Yeah.
that.
10 points to Hufflepuff.
10
Yay!
points to Hufflepuff.
Yes.
50 points to Hufflepuff.
77, but also 200.
That
Excuse me, I think this panel is biased.
Like the idea of him being the Giant's Bane and of like what is it? More is like Crowfoot Umber.
Crowfoot,
like
yeah.
getting his just due is like I really like that. Also like it's Tormund, so who doesn't love Tormund?
Also, like,
fanfic?
especially with all the resettling of the gift, like,
This
that's
is
actually like
fanfic,
really
by the way.
plausible in the end. After all the war is done and fighting, like they could resettle the gift, resettle other places around the north where they were like jerks and not nice people and not good.
I mean, hashtag
Single-handedly from Tormund's loins.
like hashtag plausible. Yeah. Oh yeah. Like how many children would he have? Hashtag plausible. I like this one.
All right, this is going to be our last theory because we're running short on time.
Oh
We got 8 minutes. We still have to vote, guys.
Well, what's after this?
Vote for what?
Me going to bed.
Not happening. What's bed?
I'll tell you when you're older.
Okay.
Alright, that's like a lot of pressure.
Oh.
2. Okay, I can do 2.
An ultimate question. Wait, oh, sorry. Is there somebody in front of me? Oh, sorry, my mic was on.
So is mine.
Same at the same time. I've always been a fan of the because it's plausible and crazy at the same time. The Ned is still alive theory, because Varys smuggles him out of King's Landing like he did Tyrion, and then hides him in the Golden Company.
I actually love that only because I just went through reading all of the SOC chapters and the Eastern chapters, and it's a fun theory just because like all of it mirrors each other, right? So like in SOC you have Barristan being the Ned of his plot with Daenerys, right? So you have Barristan like messing up politically, like choosing to try to protect the children, to protect his knights, right? So I mean, I personally think we obviously know canonically that Ned warged into ice, but
the sword.
I was saving that one.
Yes.
Yeah, you can work in a sword. That's the thing.
Just like how
The Iron Throne kills people, so like.
Yeah, well, Brian, it's actually just like how Arthur Dane wielded those two swords, and Beric Dane was actually warged into.
No, but we saw that. That's canon. Warging into swords. I don't know. Hashtag implausible.
But just the tip of the sword, Brian.
So is Ned in like 2 swords now?
Dual wield.
Yes.
Yeah.
Dual wield.
Oh my god.
Seems crazy.
There's like half of it is Ed and the other is Ard.
Japanese, it means he's bisexual.
I mean, if he's 2 swords, then we've got dual wielding, and we know.
In Japanese, it means he's bisexual.
We know that dual wielding is how the best swordsmen in Westeros fight.
That's the real reason he went to King's Landing.
Last question.
No.
No, we need a last question.
Last theory.
All right, one last theory. Jimmy, you pick someone who looks real desperate.
I already had like 10 in queue for you.
Get it, girl.
Yes.
Actually, my last name is Bolton, so I'm also upset with
Yes.
Rubble.
Yeah, whatever.
I feel so bad for you.
Play him.
Don't hate the play, I hate the game.
Sorry, last question. So I just had this theory that Bran warging into the past sort of works like Harry Potter Time Turner, where like every time he does it, he's like, so like,
what just happened?
Hey, Rachel and Josh.
Okay. Jimmy, rescue them.
I think that was Brandon.
These theories are getting far too real, and the world is closing in on.
Literally, the ceiling is collapsing.
Oh no! They're not making it
If he hadn't peeled it off, it would have fallen.
We're good. It's fine. We're good.
Okay, sorry guys, the ceiling is falling in, but we still have one more theory.
It was in the spirit of tonight being the Yule Ball and everything too, but that Bran's warging works like a time turner. So every time he comes, he tries again and he goes, oh, I'm done. Gotta do it again. So he wargs into someone else. He goes, oh, warged up, gotta do it again. And we're just like watching this Game of Thrones, but really it's just a game of Brands. And like you've got all the Brands.
I feel like that should be a cereal name.
Oh, Bran.
Game of Brands. It will make you poop.
But yeah, so it's really that it is all Bran, all the time, hardcore Bran.
Yeah, that's his core network.
Blood Raven doesn't have the same range, so.
It does make sense.
That's
It
why
sounds
they
very
destroyed
nutritious.
Time because they were like, ooh, it's too powerful. So,
Okay, panelists, you want to rebut?
No, plausible. We're good.
I'm hashtag plausible on this one.
I'll hashtag plausible
Sure,
and
why not?
raise
We'll
you.
plausible
I like this theory. I like the theory that Bran is the every Bran. He's Bran the Builder who first created Winterfell. He built the wall. He's every Bran who's ever existed. Every Bran in Stark is the same Bran going back and trying to affect that era's history.
Actually, I'm sorry. Game of Brands is a good serial name.
Game of
Every
Brands.
brand is better, though.
Yeah, whole grain every Bran.
So is this
Not
like
what
a
Joji
quantum
did.
leap kind of brand?
Yeah.
Quantum brands. Yeah. Okay.
I was gonna say too, if you check the Ice King's nose and Bran's nose on the television series, way too close.
It's a sexy nose.
I do want to follow that up with there is a great theory, if you haven't heard it, that I wrote myself, and about how the Night King is actually started this war against Jon Snow because his other 4 boyfriends, the other Night Kings with the long hair, right? You guys remember them? Those are his boyfriends, and because Jon killed one of them, so yeah, the Night King is after him for killing his boyfriends. I think that's canon.
Yeah. I actually.
It's plausible.
That makes sense.
All Johns are the same. John Aaron,
All
John
right.
Todd, John Snow.
Let's go ahead and start wrapping things up. We've got 1 more minute, so we're definitely going to run over, but that's okay. No.
1 more hour and 1 minute.
No.
Let's go.
No.
All right, we got to vote real fast, you
All right.
guys.
So, Brian, what
craziest
was your
crap.
favorite theory tonight?
Why did you even ask him?
I'm gonna go every Bran. I like the every Bran.
I mean, you stole my vote, but like honestly, yeah, I like every brand, and I like that that cereal needs to exist. So
Hey, they need to have some healthy bowels.
Yeah.
Fiber's important to your everyone.
Yeah, I'm good with cereal. I like it. I eat it every morning.
I'm not a breakfast person, but it's a good theory.
Are you serious?
No, I like the food, just not
You all decide on the same theory as the best brand?
I like breakfast at like 7 p.m.
So are we like in agreement?
No,
I'm also too drunk to
That's
remember
not right,
the
and that
beginning.
can't happen. We're gonna go back and we're gonna remember.
Hashtag plausible.
Okay. All right, we got to have a runner-up because we can't all agree. That's not allowed.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
All right, Brian, what's your second
That was far
favorite?
too easy. We're now picking runner-up. I really like the Valonqar being ambiguous and being the Hound, and I'll throw mine on to the one that was given and say the Hound beats the Mountain in a trial by combat, and Cersei is therefore found guilty and sentenced to death.
I'd actually heard the fact that Robert Baratheon or possibly Robb Stark's head is on Gregor Clegane theory right before this panel, honestly. So I'm gonna go with that being my second. Yeah, I like it.
I'll go with Gendry being a Cersei bastard. Whatever, YOLO.
He will not die.
I mean,
Leave my poor
historically,
precious
everyone
cinnamon roll
dies.
alone.
Just put it out there. That's just,
What about you, Chloe? What's your
favorite? Chloe.
I'm gonna give a shout to my best friend Brian.
Yeah.
With his really good theory about the kettle black. From House Blend. I think that's such a good, smart theory, Brian. Good job coming up
I
with
do
that.
too, and it relates to Harrenhal, so it's super serious. Yeah. I made it up with my brain.
I'm literally gonna murder you.
All right, thus concludes this year's
Harry, you didn't need a
With
boyfriend.
murder.
Thank you for listening to Tara Lynn's A Geek Saga podcast. If you like what you heard, please check out my website, ageeksaga.com, or consider supporting me on Patreon at patreon.com/ageeksaga.